I just flicked the switch, and I reckon it probably should. I reckon it should be going now, but I don't know how this LinkedIn thing works. Sometimes I used to do this like when lockdown first happened.
Sure.
So as soon as I think end of 2019 started, I started doing all these LinkedIn lives, and
Okay.
here we go. Whee! I think we're live, Spencer.
Live and direct.
There we go.
In the house.
We are proper live now, which is really good, and hopefully we will get some people knocking on our door. But anyway, if you don't know, this is Spencer. That's Spencer. How do you do that?
The legend.
Hey, you know what day it is today, Spencer, don't you? You know what day it is?
No, go on.
I mean, you being English, you should know what day it is.
Mate, I've been so busy. What day is it in England? Well, it's Friday. Beer o'clock.
It's Poets
Day. And of course.
Who we got? Rebecca, what are you talking about? Rebecca's saying you don't look dressed for push-ups.
Well, no, that's valid. Very valid observation. I'm actually doing sit-ups because I've got a busted hand from boxing. I've done half this morning. I'll drop and do another 20 in a minute. I'm doing 40 at 11 o'clock with the rest of the team. So don't you worry.
What team is this then?
So I'm doing push-ups. I'm doing the push-up challenge. So that's over 25 days, starting June the 1st to June the 25th. I'm doing 3,318 in my case sit-ups, and that represents the number of people who've died by suicide in Australia in 2019. So group of the guys at work and girls have got together, and we've called ourselves Team All Stars, and it's part of a wider push to try and drive awareness. And in my case, I'm doing it for Lifeline Australia. So Lifeline Australia is a charity that, every 30 seconds, a person in Australia reaches out to those guys for help. And they're a national charity that provide, all Australians experience in emotional distress, access to 24-hour crisis support and suicide prevention services. So
if I didn't know any better, Spencer, I think you were reading that, but you're not. That's come off the top of your head, hasn't it?
Yeah, no, it's just because I've actually had to, I've thought about it time and time again, and obviously I myself was stuck in the UK in London, for lockdown, during the COVID period. I only got back to Australia sort of, 8-9 months after I should have with my wife. So, I suffered over there myself.
Hi, Jodie.
Yeah, hopefully she's not watching because she started a new job at CBA and she's very busy. The brains of the family. Yeah, congratulations to my the hero, my wife, Jodie Moore.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's obviously close to my heart, Carl. To be fair, because I've lost 4 mates over the last sort of few years. Depression and taking their own lives. It's very sad. And actually, the number was really that number was. Australia is a relatively, it's a massive country from size, but population small. And it really sort of, it's quite astounding that many people, had taken their own lives, last year. And if I can do my bit, me, I'll do anything for charity and a good cause. In this case, probably bitten off a bit more than I could chew, but
well, are you struggling too much beer? Do you know what? I think if everybody had your attitude, Spencer, I think the whole world would be in a much better place, because it's all right just hitting the like button and making a comment, but actually doing something, that's totally different, right? I mean, you're always getting down and dirty doing stuff, and I really respect that. One of my friends is Ralph Kelly, and Ralph was you probably remember Ralph. He's Thomas Kelly's dad and Stuart Kelly's dad in One Punch thing, and that whole situation was terrible. And Ralph and Kathy now are running the Stay Kind Foundation, and this is really interesting because for me, acts of kindness, which is what you're doing here, really make up a community and could literally change the very face of a country, right? So in Australia, for example, there are 25 million people, and if just everybody did one act of kindness every single day, it could be saying something nice, being kind. Just one act of kindness would equal 9 billion acts of kindness over a year. Now, you think how much good that would do the whole country? And it's just being kind.
Yeah, and I think, you know, particularly in the current environment, you know, obviously Melbourne's locked down. People, you know, people are concerned about their families, you know, the state of the world. We can't travel, all the things that we took for granted now. You know, we should be looking in our own backyard and doing things for the people that matter. And I think, you know, as a visitor to this country, obviously I came over here, you know, traveled many years ago. I came over here with one girlfriend and went back with a different one, and now wife. like many of us. And yeah, look, I think I used to be very much like in that mindset myself. So very busy with work, concentrating on, you know, wrapped up in my own little world. And then obviously, you know, about my little situation 7 years ago with the snake. Wasn't the best thing that's ever happened to me. And I have now a slightly different view and perspective about, you know, the world, a bit more conscious about the people around me. And like as you say, I mean, it takes nothing to do, just one little thing, be that chat to someone in the morning, say something nice at work, you know. But I think what has impressed me is there's been a lot of people in our company and in many other companies and many other organizations, individuals, you know.
Let's give a shout out to your let's give a shout out to your company. Which one is it? Which one is it?
So Cisco Systems, I work for, yeah, the legendary Cisco Systems, a brilliant company. I've got some brilliant people that, you know, that I work with, and the team here in Australia have been very, you know, very welcoming. I work, you know, so our team is the Data Center All Stars. You can actually, you know, donate if you're feeling, you know, it's financial year's coming up, and if you want to give a bit, you know, save a bit for the ATO. There's the link at the bottom, and you know, every little helps. You know, every single dollar, you know, it's going to a great you know, a great charity, and I think something that is close to all of us. So yeah, our team has done it, and what it started off as a small numbers of people doing it has now sort of sprung up into, there are a stack of different teams, bit of competitive nature between teams in Queensland, Victoria, New South Wales. Different parts of the business are getting together. I've seen some hilarious things. Some of them, my first session, you know, I was training. I'm training to get back into a level of fitness. I'm training with a guy called Justin Crawford. Yeah, now because I got a busted hand, I couldn't do the sit-ups, but Justin Crawford is actually Australia's, you know, Commonwealth and gold boxing contender. And I sort of jokingly said to him when I started trying, when I did a session on Monday, "Oh, I'm doing this," and you could see his eyes lit up. So now I train with him twice a week. I'm doing a session with him tomorrow, which I have to say I'm really not looking forward to. But I did him at the end of the session, and I kid you not, I got up, I was lightheaded, was sweating. The missus was there. The missus asked if I was all right, because you know, she'd come along and she was like, you know, she'd done her training. "Are you all right?" And I went, "No, not really." And I was a big sweaty mess, and she caught me. Out of the corner of my eye, she took a photo, and I had my hands on my hips. I kid you not, I was struggling to stay alive. I really was. But it's got better since. Today was difficult. We've got 180 to do today. Did 102 this morning. Gonna do some more.
So the push-up challenge, I just want to give a big shout out. JD's just joined us. John Dean, lovely bloke. Love you, John. Hope you're well. So tell us about this push-up challenge. Who's the guy that founded it? He's in Perth, isn't he?
Yeah. So you know, so Nick started this up. It started a few years ago. You know, he went through, you know, some things himself, and he really started, you know, using this as a way to get back in to, you know, get his mind back into it. And it's really sort of, you know, snowballed from there, Carl. And, you know, I think, you know, what started with his idea has now become, you know, many groups, you know, across Australia and probably, you know, many parts of the world that we don't know about are doing it every year to raise awareness. And, you know, as I say, it goes to a number of different beneficiaries. I chose Lifeline because it was close to myself. And, you know, fundraising for a good cause. There are 3 charities: the Push for Better Foundation, Lifeline, and Headspace. And yeah, you know, if you go on the pushupchallenge.com.au, you can just see, you can donate, you know, you can read about it. It's, you know, really good positive thing. And for me, really, it's given me a bit of a kick up the backside, because I arrived, I did the COVID, two weeks of COVID just before Christmas, as you know, and then typically everything in Australia shuts down, but everything revolves around social gatherings, any kind of problems and Aussies are concerned, restaurants, food, alcohol, and so it goes on. And so, you know, let myself go a bit. You know, in COVID, I was just, you know, I was not drinking, eating clean, training middle of the night. You know, I was disciplined, and since I got here, you know, that's gone off. So really, that helping me get back into, you know, I'm keen to drop some, you know, get some timber down. Having the discipline, having to do it every day stops you thinking, oh well, going to go out for, you know, with so and so and have a beer. You know, it's been having sort of the basis, doing it every day, knowing you've got to do it, has really sort of helped get me back into, you know, this week has been good from a training perspective. So yeah mate, and doing good for, as you say, doing a little bit for, you know, a charity that's close to my heart. Hopefully other people get inspired and do their bit. And the thing is, one of, you know, when you hear the push-up challenge, often you think you got to be, you know, SAS Australia contenders, but many people have never even done a press up before. You know, we've had all sorts of different people try it, doing on their knees, standing up, starting, do them one by one. You know, I'm doing sit-ups, other guys are doing squats. So look, mate, it's been, you know, good on everyone who's doing it, and good on them for trying. And I'd encourage, you know, the more people, you know, the more people, the merrier to get involved.
It's really important, Spencer. I think what you're doing is great. I think when you know, if you want to, you're in sales, you know, if you want to dominate, and you've got to learn to dominate your day. And I think essentially
100%.
you need a few things. You need to know what your major keys are, and you need to commit to them every single day. I think that's really important. But you need to give yourself a challenge outside of your main goals and your main focus. And, you know, you need to know what you just mentioned there. You need to know what your advisors are, and you need to establish the boundaries for them, because, you know what, when you're under pressure, the inner animal in you needs comfort. And that's for many reasons.
100%.
That is when people reach for the vices, whether it's food, sleep, sex, gambling, drinking, whatever it is. And these things are not inherently wrong. But, you know, if you're not careful, you can overindulge, and under pressure, it 100%. Just makes further sabotaging even worse. And that's where these mental pressures come along. And I, as a startup guy, let me tell you, I've been there so many times under pressure, no money. Mate, 2 years ago, I had no money in my pocket.
That's right.
You gave me $20 to pay the bill.
Yeah.
This is, you know, so I'm really grateful for what you're doing. So I reckon it's time we give all these people watching. There's about 5,000 people watching at the moment, Spencer. Just thought I'd let you know.
Oh, okay. I'm joking. If you're there's about 2.
Probably none. Yeah, but but I reckon you should show us what a couple of sit-ups look like.
Oh man, that's going to be very difficult in a small room. But yeah, look.
Go on.
Let me just see. How are we going to do this?
This is Spencer Bernstein, right?
Okay,
Cisco, jackets off. This is the push-up challenge. If you want to donate, hit that link there. You probably can't hit it, but copy and paste it anyway. This is going to be supporting mental health and Lifeline Australia, who are doing an amazing job. And you never know when you're going to lead Lifeline Australia. Go on, Spencer, my son.
Right,
this is it.
Right,
this is Friday. 1, 2. Oh, look at that! He's going for it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good boy, Spencer. Keep going. 8, 9. Wow. There you go. Look at that. Wow, he's going still. He's got more in him. Spencer, you're a beast. Jesus, I'm not. I'll tell you what.
I'm just thinking if there's another 20 off, the total for the day.
There's 20. Mate, I'll tell you what. Mark Hunt has got nothing on you.
Mate, well, I've actually got his belly, but yeah. I'll be honest, I met Mark Hunt actually when I was training in Samuri. He is an absolute legend of a man.
Yeah.
And big guy, very tough guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, you know, a really, really nice individual.
And that was Mark, not Mike.
Yeah, Mark Hunt, you know, as in the fighter.
Not Mike.
No, not Mike Hunt. No, definitely, I wouldn't say Mike. I liked what you did there, though.
Mate, I thought, can I just say, I bought the 25th anniversary of the Big Issue this morning. And if you ever, you know, there's a bloke who stands out here in Potts Point every day, flogging them. I reckon I spent $100 on Big Issues this month. But you know what? The amount of value I'm getting out of this book alone it's great. There's a couple of recipes in here that I've done and I've knocked them up. There's a couple of passata recipes. So if you see a big issue guy flogging
I always
just go, you know what? Just buy $10. It makes such a big difference to these people's lives. They think they've swamped the channel if they make $100 a day.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, it does show. You know, I think, as you say, we go around our daily lives. We're very sort of blinkered. Go to work, focused on the goal. Do whatever we do outside of work, family. You know, I think, I'm one of these people. I need to have boundaries and discipline, and anything that involves alcohol generally bad for me. Because drink and then drink a lot, and then following day is a write-off. Eat badly, don't go to the gym. And it just, the cycle sort of prevails. So this discipline has been good for me. And I think
I've got some of that as well. Every day I get up at 5 o'clock. I do my little floor workout, and then I hop on this thing. Good. I pay $200 for that off Gumtree, and I put it in front of the screen here. I get on YouTube, and it's like my personal Peloton. And I just get on and I ride up a hill for half an hour, and I get my endorphins going and all that, and that routine sets me free. So I completely get it. Completely get it.
It is little things, Carl. I mean, like things that you literally do meeting to meeting, start to finish.
Yeah.
I've started with with one of the guys I work with. Historically, we just go out, grab some food, come straight back, get back into a meeting. Now we just walk around the block, get the fresh air, little things, bit of sun, see what's going on. Come back in and taking that time, particularly in busy days, I think is very important. And I think it's that type of discipline of not, 24/7 work. You have to have a balance, as you know. But tell me what's going on with Meat Magic. What's happening with you guys? Because you're doing some brilliant stuff.
Well, I can just say this month we've ticked over $520,000 that we've given to Starlight Children's Foundation through the meetings that we're doing. Yeah, we've got the UK, the US, the UK, Singapore, and New Zealand opening up, and the team are amazing. Rebecca's and Marcia and Liv and Vicky, who's booking the meetings, and Ashton and Maya, and they're all just doing a great job. It's a small little team. We've got some great things that we're planning to do this year and next year. We've got new partnerships that have been formed. In fact, Rebecca's just signed a new partnership with the Australian Information Industry Association, which is the peak body run by Ron Gorsey down there in Melbourne. Okay. 300 members in the tech space down there, and we're going to get a message out to all of them to say, come and take a meeting. Every meeting you do is obviously going to help make a difference in the world. And we just see a world where, for me, I see a world where every business meeting has an impact. So you should be walking into that business meeting saying, who are we supporting today? And there's no reason why we can't. We've had some of the most amazing business leaders support us so far, whether it's CEOs of Westpac or CTOs of Stockland. Sharmila has been amazing, and even the chief digital officer and the chief marketing officer and the chief economist of the ANZ Bank have taken meetings with us. Which it just blows me away that these kinds of people are prepared to be a little bit philanthropic with a tiny bit of their time, knowing that it's going to make a bit of difference. So that. It's not easy to get these things off the ground. It's taken 4 years to get to this point, but we feel like we're starting to get some traction, some product to market fit, as they call it in the startup world, and it's really exciting. I think the team's really excited about what we're doing, and we just feel good every time a meeting happens. So like this morning, I think the CIO of Westpac Consumer, Richard Johnson, I think has booked 2 meetings in, and this just gives me goose pimples when I see people like that doing stuff, because it tells me that we've got to a certain point now where it's not just a weird thing. You're not going to be talked about if you do it. It's almost like a common thing now. We've done hundreds and hundreds of these meetings across the country, and people are calling us. We've had some CIOs reach out to us and say, listen, the board have just approved a machine learning and artificial intelligence campaign. Do you have any artificial intelligence and companies on your books? And we've said sure. And so we've just made those connections. And so you know that you're walking into a guaranteed conversation that's going to add value, and it's going to do some good at the same time. And so for me, it's really exciting, because I know after doing all of these meetings, we've done almost 1,000 of these meetings now. So, and I know guaranteed At worst, the executive is going to come out of that meeting learning something, whether it's
100%.
learning something about technology, digital transformation, whatever it is. At best, they're going to come out with a new partner and a new supplier. And I guaranteed there's going to be an outcome, which is going to be a social impact on the charity. So it's a win-win-win for everybody involved, and that's the exciting part about it. And mate, I think we're on the cusp of just doing something good. You can just feel like it's about to take off.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah,
it feels like that. It feels like we've done a lot of the hard work and the hard yards now, and we're just starting to get some traction.
Yeah, it's good. Now, I think, look, the higher up you go in the organization, I think often, the higher up in a business people go in the enterprise, the more senior people are looking for ways to be doing that philanthropic work, to be giving back. Yeah. It's part. Many of them are, they've got there where, for many reasons, talent, skill, yeah. But obviously, in some cases, someone took, gave them the help. Yeah. And I think, paying it forward does. I would like to see us involved in it. I said no doubt, but as I haven't cleared this session with PR, I'll probably be getting a P45 or whatever the company. What do they tell you in Australia when you get fired?
A pink slip. I don't know. Yeah. I'll tell you what though, Spence. If you get fired for doing good, you'd have to question the company, right? I think right now, every company has a responsibility to do some good. It's not a nice to have anymore. It's a must have. Sure. And if you want access to impact capital, because there's a lot of capital out there that's for impact investment. And if you've not got a story about doing good, you're not getting access to that capital. It's that simple. So in America, they're actually lining up executives bonuses with the impact that they make. So they've got ESG targets. And if you don't hit them, you're not getting paid. So it's in fairness to our business, right? I mean, we get days to give back, to community of our choice. When we do any kind of work, they'll match it. So the money that I raise for Lifeline, the company matches. The companies always, do beat out, things around, race, prejudice. The company is very, very good. And from a cultural perspective, I think, and that comes literally from the top. From the CEO, all the way, down, and it does flow through the company. And I think it does make a difference to actually, as you and I, know, when we've met people that are extremely wealthy, but actually, all the money in the world, when we sat down with them, fundamentally, the things that they have enjoyed the most is being able now. It's not having that money; it's now being able to do something good with it.
Totally. And I can think that there's one particular, guy who will remain nameless. So we had a proper meet. We had a really very bright and enlightening chat with that guy. More money than sense, more money than he needs, and now he's basically going back and actually he's built the new company based on philanthropy at the heart of everything he and everyone in the company does. And I think we ourselves as a company and many other companies, not just us, many other companies, in Australia and the world are catching on. We do brilliant work ourselves. You can always do more, I'm sure. That's definitely going to get me a pink slip. So anything I say now is the opinion of Spencer Bernstein and not the corporation.
Do you know what's really exciting about that person you're talking about is that he's had a lot of corporate companies come to him and say, how do I get my staff more engaged at work? Because a lot of them are doing the volunteering days, but it just wasn't giving them the outcomes. And so I remember he's saying to us, he gives every single one of his staff $10,000, and he says it's up to you where you give it, and it's unencumbered or unattached. What I think the word was he used, which means they can give it to anybody they like. And he said the very notion that they're able to make a massive difference in someone's life with that $10,000 really impacted them and really made them more engaged as a worker at work as well. So I think there's a lot to be said about giving and a lot to be said about what you're doing. And I think it's amazing what you're doing. I think everyone should just hit that button and challenge. And Spencer, there's a whole new podcast or video LinkedIn Live here for stuff that you're doing down the track as well. So let's come back on and do another one later on.
Sounds good, mate.
I just want you to go and get fired now. So I'll make sure I put this on. I'll make sure I tag. Who's the CEO of Cisco? Not John Chambers anymore, is it? Is it Dickie? What's his name?
No, it's the legend himself, Chuck Robbins. So if you want, actually, I wouldn't probably suggest that you tag Chuck Robbins. But actually, you know what? Look, I mean, the company is all about we're doing our bit for charity, and at the end of the day, you know, if I've said something out of order and I get fired as a result, well, you know what? Mate, I've gone with the best intentions. So look,
the only thing the only thing that you've done that's out of order, Spencer, is show everybody your belly. You know, and
hey, can't you cut that out?
and you've done that for charity, so that's admirable.
Well, mate, Carl, always a pleasure, mate, and keep up the good work. Always good to talk.
Absolutely, my son. I'll talk to you soon.
Cheers. All the best, mate.
Cheers, Spence.
See ya.